What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 29. We start today's episode off on the back of our win over Bologna. As you can see, heading into the first game of today's episode away in Croatia, Dinamo Zagreb, on the back of winning our first two in the group away at the Emirates, and of course at home to Benfica as well. So heading into this game, I kind of saw this one as one of the two easiest of the group. I often say this, when you join in a European group, normally, like, there's one team you look at and you just think, okay, with all due respect, you're probably going to get the wooden spoon. So if I can't beat you back to back, I am going to struggle to qualify, especially as group winners. But oftentimes, and I know I say this a lot, but sometimes these are the games which are the most difficult to win. Arsenal at the Emirates, no problem. Dinamo Zagreb, now this was a tough one. We fell behind early, in the first half, right before the break I should say. We did get back on level terms just past the hour mark. Briel and Bolo with the Rabona goal, rounding the goalkeeper and popping it in to the open net. 1-1 back on level terms, but even a draw at this stage would still be a disappointing result. Need to flip this game on its head and find a winner and just call this guy Briel, Darwin Nunez in Bolo, because from a goal down he bags us a brace later on to make sure we get ourselves 2-1 up, and surely we are getting the big 3 points to stay 100% in the group thus far. Remember last season we were top of the group, and then on the final match day 6, we lost at home to Leverkusen. That's why we ended up finishing runners up, and in the end had to face Barca in the last 16 and were then knocked out by Xavi's side. I'm not letting it happen again, man. I am not letting it happen again. So I want to make sure we don't just go through this year, we go through as group winners. The luxury of qualifying as group winners, as you know, means you'll face an unseeded team, otherwise known as a team that finished runners up in their group. And what a class camera angle this is, by the way, here. Celebrating the fans in the corner. And that, of course, means you're more likely, not always, but more likely to draw a weaker side from a group they got through. So yeah, big win there coming from to get it. Luka Warwick Holioso got our third goal in stoppage time, and I'm quite surprised about this, but so far the Gunners just a 1 point on the board thus far. Yeah, pretty surprising, right? But even so, for us, 9 points out of possible 9. We're 1 win away from guaranteeing qualification, but unlike last season, that's just one of my worries, man. I need to make sure we top this group and have a bit of an easier test in the last 16, if you're. Then again, you know, this is something I've mentioned before, but like, it's the Champions League, you know, so the chances are, if you're facing one of the best 16 teams in world football, it's going to be a tough tie regardless of who you face, you know. So it's not, I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to be easier. Absolutely not, finishing as group winners. But even if you do face a group runner-up, more often than not, you've got yourself a tricky tie there, especially away from home. So yeah, there is a benefit, but you know, it's not like we're going to face Barnsley or whatever in the last 16. No disrespect to my tykes out there. But anyway, yeah, following game, taking on Genoa away from home, heading into this one here. We took the lead early, and then right after the restart, my goodness, now when you talk about an AI on ultimate free kick, that right there is an AI on ultimate free kick. Yeah, Gregorich from range just bends it into the toppest of the top corners, and you could have two Emi Orderos and an Elia Caprile in goal for that one, and throw in a Gigi Buffon if you want as well, and all three of them, no one's getting anywhere near. Absolutely superb strike there into the top corner, and those are the moments where you think to yourself, okay, alright, you know, like, if the AI want to score, they will score. Do you know what I mean? When you're playing on Ultimate especially, like, if they want to score, they're going to score. And that was one of those moments there where it's like, I mean, there's literally nothing I could do about that. I timed the jump of the wall absolutely perfectly. Keeper's, you know, one of the highest rated in the division right now, and I got literally nowhere near extraordinary, but thankfully right from kickoff we are back in front, and it's just one of those games here where one of my strikers goes absolutely ham. Do you remember when I signed in Bolo, I said, oh, I've got a dilemma on my hands now. Who do I play up top? Is it Colombo and Mbolo? Is it Colombo and Cutrone? Or is it Mbolo and Cutrone? Well, in the end, I said to Pat, listen, we love you, mate, local lad, club captain, but I'm going to drop you onto the bench, and I'm going to have Colombo and Mbolo, the O's, as my starting duo from here on out. Yeah, it's safe to say I've made the right call, no doubt about that. Lorenzo bagging 4 goals in the game there, and an absolutely dominant display there from our number 9. I love Pat, man, I really do. I still give him quite a bit of game time, often in midweek games, and obviously start to my cup games as well, but there's no doubt about it. Imbolo and Colombo are just a step up, and this year in particular, Lorenzo is just dominated. So yeah, following game on the back of the 4-1 win there, aim to keep our winning run going into Turin. Nice little battle in North Italy here. Torino away from home. Tough game this one. Really struggled to break Torino down, but finally, after we were leading by a goal, we could wrap it up here. And we did so in the coolest of fashions as well. Yeah, scored the first goal. It was a nice little sort of chip to the far post, a nice acrobatic finish in the first half, but stoppage time, only leading by one. One of those games where I just thought, if I don't get that second goal, I'm going to get punished. You know those nervy, testy games where you think, if I don't wrap this up, I will get punished for it? I was hanging on a little bit towards the end, and then went up the other end, stoppage time, basically final kick of the game. And that chip, I mean, absolutely delicious. Seriously, man, so cool. You know, when it comes down to like the type of goals I score in FIFA, it's a very hard one to say what I prefer the most. I don't score as many like nice passing, moving, team build-up goals as I used to, just because the game mechanics are so different nowadays. And you know, I've mentioned this before, but like back in FIFA 16, EA made this real point of trying to slow the pace of the game down. How long did that last? And you know, make it more about technical, passing, movement type of goals. Rubbish. Like, it's still really hard to play that way, and at times almost impossible, because you can't even hit a 5-yard pass at times to one of your open teammates. So it's still much preferable to go down the wing and do fast counter-attacking play like I normally do for the majority of my goals. So I do like those team goals, but they're very rare for me to score because they're just almost impossible to score at times due to the lack of off-the-ball movement, which at times tears my bloody hair out. But also as well, just because again the inconsistencies of the passing power can really throw you off and prevent you after a nice build-up towards the penalty area. But I love chip goals. I absolutely love scoring a chip goal. There's nothing better than just watching the ball sail over a goalkeeper's head and nestle into the far corner. So yeah, Pat wrapped it up there later on into Turin for a 2-0 victory. And as we aim to keep our winning run going, really topsy-turvy game here, following one back home. Sassuolo kind of takes on. This is a really tough game here defensively. Toured over a couple of times. Miguel Almiron got Sassuolo the opener, but in the end did win it by 3-1. Late goal for Imbolo ensured we would come through the 3 points there and extend our winning run. So yeah, starting the season off in the Serie A, 2 points clear of Inter Milano right now, top of the table, just 2 losses in our first 11 games. But you know, last season, obviously, once we kind of like jumped out in front last season, we never really looked back. I gotta say, this season, Inter are still looking very strong. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that this season. You know, last year, once we got away and we pulled away, we never looked back. This season, I don't know, I've got a feeling it's going to be a little bit tighter than it was last year, no doubt about that. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I love managing in the Serie A as well, because for those that haven't played in the Serie A yet, honestly, man, give it a go, because like it's so open. Like the seasons are so open. Like if you're managing in France, you know that PSG are going to be your strongest battle. If you're managing in Germany, you know Bayern Munich are going to be your strongest battle. But in the Serie A, every year it could be different. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're doing a French Ligue 1 RTG, you know every single year who you're going to be mostly battling with for the title. You know, it's normally the same in Germany as well, but in the Serie A it's brilliant. It's like 6 or 7 teams you're battling with. You know what I mean? Like one year it's Fiorentina, the next it's Milano, then it's Inter, then it's Lazio, it's Napoli. It's brilliant. I love it. It's so fun. But anyway, yeah, heading to the following game, Dynamo Zagreb staying at home, but this time in the Champions League, match day 4. Aim to make it 4 wins out of 4 and keep our 100% run going. Once again, tough start against the Croatians. Fell behind, but managed to get ourselves in front. And then 27 minutes to go. This is a really nice little build-up, working the ball from right to left, working our way forward. Destiny storms down the flank, rolls it across, and Pat Cutrone puts the finishing touch on the move. How much of a luxury is it to know this guy's on my bench, man? Because he's just so good, honestly. Scored 2 of my 3 goals, and that would do it. 4 wins from 4, and as you'll see, qualification in the bag, and all we've got to do now is avoid defeat against Benfica away at the Dragao on match day 6, or beat Arsenal on match day 5, either or, and that will guarantee qualification as group winners as well. Arsenal, 2 points in 4. I've got to be honest here, I did not see that coming, you know. Like I said earlier, sometimes you look at the group and you think, okay, you guys are going to be the weakest team, no doubt about that. You know, no shame, but the chances are you're going to finish rock bottom with a wooden spoon. I thought that would be Dynamo Zagreb this year. They're only 1 point behind Arsenal due to the Gunners really struggling. Just at 2 points. from 4 games. A bit of a shock, really, to be fair, from the Gunners. But even so, yeah, us and Benfica practically guaranteed to be going through now and again. Just one win or a draw on match day 6 will guarantee top spot. So yeah, we are almost there as we go for that Champions League pole position finish. So yeah, following game, big win, and then the next one, Fiorentina at home, aim to keep this really good streak going. 18.5 minutes in, we get ourselves the opening goal. First goal in a while, to be fair, for Simon Profundi. Hasn't scored many for me this season, but even so, does open the score in there and make it 1-0. And in the second half, one of those sort of like tense, nervy games. This one certainly wasn't opening up my opposition like I ordinarily do. Thankfully, got a golden chance here, 69 minutes in, and I gotta be honest, guys, I don't really know what I was doing. Like, seriously, I don't really know what I was doing there, but I got away with it. Yep, definite penalty, no doubt about that. Brilliant Bolo tripped up from... Well, kind of from behind, but he turned behind. I don't really know what I was doing, to be completely honest, but I got away with it. Penalty for Como. Give it to captain, or vice-captain, I should say, wearing the armband ordinarily, Ibrahima Bamba, who chips in his first goal of this season. Yeah, penalty. Don't get many of them from open play, I must say, nowadays. So if I do get one, I do like to be a little bit fancy with it. And yeah, Bamba just chips it in to the open goal. That's just good. I mean, I told you earlier that I love scoring those chip goals, even from pens. They just look so cool, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Just outfoxing the goalkeeper there. It's just so sweet, isn't it? Like a Panenka, when it's done properly, it's just... Oh, do you remember Pirlo back in Euro 2012, I think it was, against England? That Panenka, oh, it's oozed class. He had an unbelievable game, and then he just did that. Absolute cherry on top. Hakimi in the World Cup in Qatar, that chip to send Spain home. I mean, it's just so cool, isn't it, man? So, yeah, Bamba wraps it up there 2-0, and the winning run gets extended. But for the final game of this episode, match day 5, penultimate on the Champions League group stage, well, heading into it, I thought these guys would be the front runners to qualify as group winners. Instead, as things stand now, they're going out. And in the end, they ended my winning run by beating me by a goal to 0. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way football and FIFA goes sometimes. Right now, yeah, Gabriel Martinelli with the only goal of the game there, as we lose by 1 goal to 0. So, yeah, Arsenal still going out because Benfica beat Dinamo Zagreb, but it does mean heading to the match day 6, we'll have to at least avoid defeat away in Portugal at Dragao. Otherwise, we'll drop to 2nd place. Thanks to that, Arsenal. Meant nothing for you whatsoever, but it means that we have something to play for on match day 6. But that will end today's episode of the Summer CM, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed. If you had done, please do drop a like. So you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the Summer Career Mode very soon.